So, Alex, I brought you something a bit interesting from Ireland, a very interesting website I came across on, when we were researching exporting people out of Ireland. Is that the most polite term I could say?
Remigration, yes.
Yes, there we
Looks
go.
like you have remigration.ie.
Yes, it's a
So it looks
website
like
I came across by accident, actually, this website. But
accidental things can be good. So let's read this a little bit. So Ireland's population grew by 14% in a decade. Nobody asked us. The housing crisis, the hospital queues, the changing face of every town, it's all connected. We're here to show you the data, build a movement that says enough. Get
mm,
the facts by pillar issue. Every debate has a few load-bearing facts. Pick a pillar. Each hub gives you the claim, the counterclaim stated fairly, and source numbers to win the argument. Okay. So this is showing what the numbers are
the true
and how you
numbers,
can
uh,
discuss it in with things of evidentiary value.
exactly, even when they show you here 1 in 5 people living in Ireland were born abroad in the fastest democratic in states history. And he shows you the source here. The sources are is a census from 2022. So obviously,
On the demographic shift. Okay. Okay.
yes. So they back up everything with proper data points. So it's very
So
hard to argue with the numbers.
would you just click on the 1 in 5 that's in green on there? Is that how you would get to that one?
No, actually,
Or is that one?
they have a great website here. Here we
Oh, so
go.
it's linked. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right, every number on this page comes from official Irish government statistics, the CSO, the Department of Justice, the Department of Integration,
Yes.
IPAT, and parliamentary questions. We don't estimate, spin, or editorialize the data for data set by data set source notes and caveats. See the new migration data
Yeah.
reports. Okay, so there's
But
okay, cool.
they have everything broken down, which is a very useful tool to get past all the different facts and figures we see banding around on both sides of the aisle
Okay.
over here. But these are
So in
the
the
proper government
2020
figures.
right, in the 2022 census, what was the total number of
You can see
people
it.
physically residing in Ireland?
They
Do
have
we
it all
have that
broken
number?
down here.
Okay,
5.1.
there it is.
Yeah, all broken down there for you.
5.1 million. Okay, interesting. Okay, population growth 7.6%. 15% of the population. Okay, born outside Ireland. Okay, net migration. Okay.
Yeah. So it breaks everything down really clear, factual figures from government's own
Well,
facts
you
and
have
figures.
300,000 people waiting for council housing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Homeless individuals is 14,000.
Is that does that include the travelers? Or are we not allowed to say travelers?
Uh,
Is that a thing you can say? I don't even know.
travelers be put on the social housing list. Technically, they're not technically homeless because they live in their own caravans and so on. A lot of them kind of prefer that lifestyle. Is the best word. They prefer that culture. I'm saying that in quotations myself. Yeah, traveler culture is quite interesting. It's definitely yeah, I can definitely describe it as some sort of culture, all right? And yeah, I can say that on YouTube. I'm being very polite at the moment.
You should be very polite, sir. We're
Yes,
polite. We're polite gentlemen.
yes.
That's why we're the A&P gents, because we're gentlemen.
Now, here's how much the direct provision system costs us per year from the Department of Integration, 2.5 billion every single year. Is goes to house our new Irish friends. Is that the word I can use?
Well, RTE gets 1.6 billion, yeah?
Yeah, between state funding and outside funding and so on. But at least RT is our national broadcaster. Good, bad, or indifferent, it is our broadcaster. Uh, As I say, it's the fact that we're spending 2.5 billion a year housing people that should not, for the most part, be in our country. I don't know, this kind of rubs me up. I think it should rub up everyone the wrong way. Especially the fact that we have so many, as you can see, the hospital waiting list here is 900,000. We have 300,000 on the housing lists. We have homeless in 14,000 homelessness. Well, I say that figure is definitely a lot more than that. That's just the Department of Housing. So
That's what they can confirm.
That's what they can
That's their
confirm.
hard numbers, but it's going to be more.
It's
So you
definitely
have
moving more.
precious resources that are being squandered by people who should not be in your country.
Yes, and again, see, here's how Ireland compares to our European, well, not just our European neighbours, but our closest neighbours. Like every year, about 3% of deportation is enforced every single year in Ireland. Just 3%. So for every 100 deportation orders that are handed out, only 3% of them are acted upon.
So 3 out of 100 go, and the rest stay.
Yes.
That's bad.
Denmark,
That squanders resources.
yeah.
Oof.
Denmark is 60%. Austria is 40%. UK is 25%. Italy is 35%. Italy is probably going up over time. But bear in mind now, we've had a massive influx in the last 2 years into Ireland. Our system's
We're coming out
destroyed.
of. They're taking the Belfast route.
Yes, as you can see down here. Application numbers in 2019 were 4,000. In 2023, the only figures you could find 17,000, and then the war in Ukraine happened, so it's obviously way past that point already.
Right, because you guys took in Ukrainians.
Oh yeah,
Lots of
we took in over 100,000 Ukrainians, and we housed them and so on. Which, okay, people, I would say about half the Ukrainians were genuine. The other half were, I put a big giant question mark. But the fact that we could house 100,000 of them quite easily, but we still cannot seem to house 14,000 of our own. That does not make sense. Those figures do not make sense to me.
Well, the processing time, 24 months, seems like a excessively long time.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years. That's standard. Sometimes it's longer. We've had cases of people on their final deportation order in Ireland staying here for years.
Oh, we've had people on final deportation orders in the United States for 20, 25 years.
Yeah. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the difference is we're literally an island. We're literally an island. I don't understand why we cannot secure our own borders. Either it be Northern Ireland border, or our airports, or ports in general. I can't understand it.
Do they not have the appropriate amount of law enforcement at the airport? I mean, are the customs people doing what they're supposed to do? Are people overstaying visas? What are they doing?
I will say one thing about the customs and the Guardian Department, just in general. They do pick these guys up, but then they go straight to the IPAS system, international protection system, because they're saying, oh, we're fleeing persecution in our own country. So obviously, they know how to game the system before they even cross the border. So they know we have to go through this process. They know probably the process better than most of us Irish would. How would this work?
Yeah, the cartels in Mexico funnel a lot of people in, and they tell them what to say, and those people pay between $5,000 and $50,000 to get to the United States.
Yep. As I say now, we'll come over here to another part of the website, Irish Migration Data Reports. So everything they've put up so far, here's all the reports to back it up.
Okay.
So if we come over here, so open this report. Welfare received by recipients by nationality. So here we go. Breaks everything down. Whole 9 yards. It's absolutely fantastic website. Really, really good. Really well put together, whoever done this.
Scroll that up on the right side. It says the biggest one, child benefit, most used scheme in the latest Q4 snapshots.
Yeah, child benefit is what you get every month as a monthly payment. You get so much per child every month, regardless if you're working or not working. That's a payment that's given out to everyone in Ireland, by the way.
Wow, that's
even if you're here,
incredible.
even if you, well, that's been there since the 1960s. I'm going to say.
In the United States, you get a child tax credit. It's
So it's a benefit that's been around for a long, long time for Irish citizens. It's always been there. Here's the PPS.
Why not?
Here's the PPS allegation reports. So this is your PPS number. You know, in order to get onto the proper welfare system, you have to get a public service card that's registered to you.
Right. So you can't get allocations until you get your public service number.
Yes. So first you go into the iPass system, then you're in the appeal process, but then you can apply to work in Ireland, which will automatically get you to the PPS system. And from there, then you can suddenly not feel well at work, and then you can start drawing down, as they would say.
My goodness, look, that's a lot of people for your country.
Yeah,
The non-Irish citizens are is a number way more massive than the 218,000 that were Irish.
yeah,
Ooh, wow.
yeah. Here's all the sources. Here's the migration data reports.
So I saw when you were showing me the camera when you were in Cork City, I think it was, just doing your little reporting thing, that there are lots of businesses there that do not look Irish in nature, or like vape shops and a bunch of other
Yeah,
like.
a lot of vape shops. I would say if you walk down to any town, village, or city in Ireland, you'll be tripping over vape shops and barber shops. I mean, they're just everywhere. What I can't understand is there's no, every time I pass these shops, there's no customers inside most of these places, but they're still there.
Are they
It's,
getting tax breaks for running businesses that
I,
don't make money, like loss leaders
funny
or
enough,
something?
I was actually chatting to a guy the other day and I was asking him the same question. He works for a certain state department. And what I didn't realize is you get an enterprise grant from the Irish government when you're starting your business initially. I presume you have the same thing in California. You know, if you have a business
Uh,
idea, you can go to a
well,
local business board or so on.
in the entire United States, California is pretty lenient on it, as are some other places that are.
No, even
Any state that has sanctuary policies is going to have a lot of support for immigrant businesses.
you know, but by the way, everyone in Ireland can apply for these for enterprise grants, and they start the highest you can get is 150,000 to open up a business, but you have to have a proper structure. But on the low end, you get about between 30 to 60,000 to open up your business. And
Don't you
then,
have to submit an appropriate
but
business
after,
plan
and
and
the whole nine
like
yards.
foot
But
traffic? And okay,
yeah, but which is not too hard. Anyone can put together a business plan. I wouldn't say anyone, but these guys are are not silly. They're not stupid in a lot of ways. I know people think they are, but they're not. Now, when I looked into that nugget, as they would say, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole when I looked at the enterprise board myself. And if as long as you have a good business plan, you can prove that it's going to be successful. It'll give you roughly about half the cost of setting it up, or sometimes the full cost. Depends on their interview and your board and what you put forward and so on. There's a lot of processes, but it's not that hard to get past a lot of these hurdles. Now, then after 2 years, you have to start paying back that technical state loan. That's why you'll see an awful lot of these businesses do not survive 2 years, or within the 2 years, suddenly there's a name change on the shop. So technically, it's passed on to somebody else. So that
I'm
money
thinking
never,
probably a family member or someone connected to that
or
family
somebody
because it's
closer, or
planning
so
structures.
on. So there's a lot of leakage there. There's a lot of ways of dancing around the system, is the word I could say. What we
So
got?
they're abusing the system.
Oh, of course they are. These guys know the system way better than any of us living in this country. You've no
That's how
idea.
inmates know the rules better
Then
than the screws.
they do, yes. Now here's another one. Deportations and removals. As you can see, last month there was orders signed of 370, orders issued, physically handed to the person was 301. So obviously 69 of them have disappeared somewhere into the magical ether of the country somewhere. This is
Oh,
just
they're in the
one. By
woods.
the way, this is only a snapshot of 1 month. By the way, now see how many removals there was. 50 the whole month. And when they talk about removals, doesn't mean they're necessarily removed from the country. They could remove from the country or remove to City West. As you see, there's more figures here. This is that's just 2026 figures right there. Orders signed, order issued, and actually physically handed, and removals across the same time period up to May.
And that doesn't include, that isn't everybody that's actually been ejected.
Yes.
That they've been excluded from the country. That's if they've also gone to City West or if they've started
Yes,
the process.
they could start the whole process again, or there mightn't be an available flight, or 1,000 different excuses why they're still here.
Not an available flight. What do you mean? They got flights in, and they got flights
managed
in from other
they
safe
managed
countries.
they didn't teleport from space. They managed to get here somehow.
The question is if they get to France or they get to Germany before they fly into either Dublin or Belfast,
yeah,
right? Then why aren't they held up at the previous safe country? And if they want to apply for asylum in Ireland, why don't they do it from the previous safe country?
Because what happens to them is what was quite clever. They say the first chance they're on in the first European country to be Spain, France, Italy, Germany, so on, Belgium. So they'll apply there, and when they know that the clock is running down there, these guys will suddenly just hop on a plane and come to the next European country. But the new migration pact, part of it is you have to be processed in the first country you land now in the EU. And because the problem was up to this point, all our immigration services had a tendency kind of work independently from each other. But now they're going to be joined together in one database. So if you suddenly skip out an order in France and land in Ireland, they fingerprint you straight away. They realize, wait a minute, you've already been turned down in France. We'll send you back to France. They'll process you out. Good luck and thanks very much. So that's
part of the process of.
That's
that
part, by the way, that's
process?
part of the new migration pact that everyone was going on about. Also, part of it is everyone in Europe is going to take their fair share. Like, it was unfair for us to take 100,000 people when France, say, for instance, only took about 50,000. There's a difference and disparity there. So everyone is going to take what
that's a problem of scale.
Yes,
it's a problem of scale. With 5 million people, if you get 100,000, that's massive.
Exactly.
So for France, that's not as much.
So
and if they take
I know those people, I know a lot of countries in Europe are pushing back on it. But everyone has to start taking their fair share. If everyone wants to deal with this big, massive issue, we'll have to do it together instead of separately. And I think most countries are coming around to that fact. That, we have a major issue here all across the European Union. Everyone's suddenly getting together.
Is that managed by Interpol, or is that a function of the EU?
It's going to be managed for the most part when all our Department of Justices working together. So France will work with Ireland, and so we all would join up together. Interpol is more of hunt down the bad guys, more function. It's probably the easiest way to describe that.
And are illegal immigrants bad guys, or
until they commit a crime? Technically, no. Until they commit a crime, as we've known.
Is illegally entering a country a crime?
I technically would class it as a crime. Yes.
But I think it actually is.
Yes,
crime.
But yes, us thinking it is a crime and it being a crime. I know our law is kind of slightly different when it comes to that between Ireland and US.
Right, but if you have no borders, you have no sovereignty. Right? So if we just let anybody in and they're in violation of your sovereignty,
yes,
then they need to go.
Yes.
Right?
And
because a lot of these are economic migrants. They just don't want to be where they are because it sucks to be in a poor non-Western country.
Yes. And to be honest, if I came from some of the places they lived in, I would think the Western countries are a land of milk and honey. If you understand what I mean.
Especially if you can abuse the system. Yeah.
Oh, yes. They really know how to take part in that system.
Somalia, Somaliland, Eritrea. There's a lot of places. And their cultural values are far different. They have a hard time assimilating. Yeah. And again, we did that Crowder episode where he showed what it costs European countries to have all of this, especially the UK.
By the way, our biggest is not actually Somalis in Ireland. I know they've been hyper focused on, especially the United States, because of what happened around scandals. In
Minnesota,
yeah. But for the most part, in the
India,
UK, for the most part in the UK, they make up in the immigration service. I think they make up 1.5%, something like that. Very small number, but I know Stephen Crowder was hyper focused on them because of his own personal reasons.
Right,
Or
but again, understand the money that they were taking out of the system, each one and their family members represented over their lifetime £1 million,
yes, yes, he was
right?
showing the
And
UK
not just
numbers.
them, but their direct descendants as well,
Yeah,
been on the dole or whatever your system of social welfare is, right?
yeah. As you can see, this website breaks down a lot. Our biggest drain on our system is Nigerians, believe it or not, is our biggest.
Really?
Yes,
Well,
one.
because I think that Indians actually, for the most part, are doing better as far as integrating
Oh,
and
the Indians are better because one, they have a better education system. They integrate better into high tech jobs for the most
right, and
part.
the GDP, they don't represent quite a
And
hit to
plus,
your GDP.
Indians and Pakistanis I've met are very, I want to go out there and work type of people.
Right.
Pakistanis, not so much. Indians, yes, they're very much, I'm going to go out and make my money and
Right,
send it.
but both those countries are better than sub-Saharan African countries,
Oh,
like,
yes. And
every time.
and by the way, we can break it all down and we can see all the figures. As I said, I will leave a link for this website and people can go through this. It's a massive resource. As I said,
Oh,
this,
real quick though, if you're gonna try and access this site from the United States, you're gonna need a VPN. It
yes,
literally isn't letting us look at this from the US side. That's why we're doing this from Patrick's side today, because
yes,
I literally can't pull this up, which
no.
is why we have the screen the way we do and why the, format looks a little bit different.
Yeah, as I said, but yeah, I record a bit differently as well from my side, as you can see. But as I say, everything is broken down here, all facts and figures. Here's Ireland compared to the Denmark. It's yeah, that as I said, they can spin whatever they want in the halls of government, but the figures are the figures. You can't. It's it
Can't
is
deny them.
is
Nope.
pretty damning, pretty damning. There's no way dancing around it. You break it, as I say, you can break it down here. I pass arrivals. You can open this up here. As you can see, the largest number being 2017 and 2026 was from Nigeria, which last time I checked, yeah, Nigeria is not the best country in the world, but well, still it's there we go. So number one is it's wrong. Somalia is actually there. Number two in Georgia. The Georgians, for the most part, are self-reporting themselves at the moment because ever since they've been deemed as a safe country by the Irish government, they're being pretty much sent home for the most part.
Right. Well, same thing with the United States. We have a temporary protective order that went out for lots of
Yep.
countries, and Haiti was on the list for like 20 years. And Christy Noem's like, no, we're done. Like, y'all can go back.
Yep.
And they're like, it's a super unsafe country. If you're an American, yeah. But if you're from Haiti, it's your country. Like, please go back to your country.
As you can see,
Right.
breaks down here. I can understand a lot of the Afghanis that came in the last. We had a big lot of Afghanis come in, especially when the US pulled out that time.
Right.
So we were asked by other EU countries who coalition forces to take on a lot of the Afghanis. I think we only took on, as you can see, only a couple of thousand for the most part. Take that many Afghanis. But for the most part, these were people who work with your forces, with coalition forces, who
Right.
wouldn't be very popular with the Taliban. So I don't mind people like the Afghanis who genuinely, for the most part, any of them I've met, or go out there and work. Now, would they be the most pleasant individuals in the world to talk to? No, but they do have a to kind of work.
There's a falafel
Quotations.
spot. There's a falafel spot down the road run by an Afghani guy who was an interpreter.
Yeah.
In fact, he was in some of the places that I may or may not have been. He
Yes.
was a really good guy. He's running a great business, got 3 or 4 shops, and he's driving a Corvette, and he's making money, and he's affecting the GDP positively.
Yes.
Hardworking guy. And then he's got other
Mm.
folks that work with him that run security companies and stuff like that. They're contributing. They're
Yeah. Yeah.
doing better work. But part of the problem I was having was is a lot of them were having difficulty with English, and I'm like, kind of difficult to be a security guard if you can't effectively communicate issues and problems to local law
Yes. That
enforcement.
kind,
So,
especially if you're working in the United States, I think that would be a bit of a hurdle for the most part. But
at
as you can,
least they're trying.
yes, but the
That and
Nigerian.
that
By the way, I've met Nigerians then most part. I know friends of mine who worked in Central Africa for the oil industry, and they will tell you straight out that Nigerians are not nice people. And by the way, anyone who's looked at Facebook recently has seen Nigerian youths beating up old men on the street and so on. And for the most part,
Right.
when
Well,
they're
and this thing
arrested,
was updated just under 3 weeks ago too, so
yes,
updated as of 5 July 2026,
yeah.
so these numbers are really good,
For the most
or
part,
fresh anyway.
Nigerians are just known around, even around Central Africa, as scam artists. Is the only word I could describe most of them.
Difficult neighbors.
Oh,
Difficult neighbors.
they as they say, they're not the most honest or trustworthy individuals. It's probably the easiest way to describe this. Yeah, you can see there, style. It has. I'm fairness, this website is a great resource. Just the way they have everything easily broken down, easy to. Yeah, here's a safe country list of 2026. Those countries are safe, being by Ireland.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, everything's all nicely broken down for people.
Well, I like it. Well,
Here's the
that's yeah,
yeah.
great information. I like it.
Yeah, everything's broken down nice and easy for people. There's no fluff. There's no hyperbole put in. Everything is just facts and figures. That's it. And what did they say? What one guy on YouTube said? Facts don't care about your feelings. Well, that's Ben
Oh,
Shapiro. That's Ben Shapiro,
that's your
isn't
buddy
it?
Ben. Yeah, that's
That's
Ben.
Ben
That's your boy
Shapiro said
Ben.
that. Yeah, yeah. He does have a good
Oh,
idea every now and again.
he's a fast talker. I'll give him
Oh,
that.
he is. God
All right.
bless him. Oh, he's definitely got. Sometimes he's too fast to speak.
Well, it's difficult to refute. Yeah, it's difficult to refute claims that come out like a machine gun. So,
Yeah.
all right, we got anything else for the good of the people, or
No,
just gonna
actually,
refer them
what
to
do
the
you think of
website
that
and have them take
website
a look
so
at
far
it?
yourself?
It's amazing. I wish I could access it, but I have to look at it through you. So
Yeah,
funny.
it's funny. Actually, it's blocked over there. It's interesting. Actually, it must be a
All
California
righty.
thing. Maybe I don't know. I'm not too sure.
I no idea. All right, for Patrick McCallum, I am Alex Johansson. Like the like, ring the bell, subscribe, help us beat the algorithm. We're the A&P gents. We are out. Thank you.